welcome back to LinkedIn Logs. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the LinkedIn influencer slash OnlyFans podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. I accidentally turned... I'll give you a little look into my setup. So I have this the Zoom H6 recorder that I purchased with my money a couple years ago, and it's really helped with the production of like News Time, which is our premier entertainment business news show, the Daily Show, except we're less bad, on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, and the other podcasts like the Constitutionals, which is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there, and this LinkedIn Logs episode 11. And the Zoom is great. I love it so much. There's a new version, Zoom H8. Can't afford it. I'm going to keep the H6, and it does what I need it to do. Now, the problem is that one of my issues with it is that it's analog, no touchscreen. I got to use one scroll wheel button to control everything. Whatever. It's powerful enough to do what it needs to do. But it does have a headphone jack in it, so I can listen to everything. But I do not have a separate DAC to plug in the Zoom into and use that for the headphones, which I need, so I can just control the volume of that, because otherwise I'm turning up the volume on the device itself, and it is making it louder, but only to a degree, to a little point. So what I'm saying is, get me money so I can buy a Scarlett. so I can use that as a outside. I think that's what's called a DAC. I can just plug in the headphones. It's a really expensive, like a $200-$300 system just to plug in. It doesn't record. It just makes you able to hear yourself better. That's pretty much it. Anyway, episode 11. Here we are recording. I genuinely cannot hear myself. Now I have to turn it up to 90. I'm at 90 now. Jeez Louise. Okay, what do we got going on here? Well, my unemployment is running out. That's a very true fact. And now I'm in desperate need for a job, which last week I had no idea it was running out, and I was still kicking it into overdrive, high gear, as they say. Maybe I should just become... I'm on Indeed right now, and I'm looking at... It is suggesting, because at one point... I did look into FBI. It is suggesting FBI jobs. Maybe I should do that. I think that might be slightly up my league. And, you go to Quantico for 4 months. I already looked up the timetable. I looked up everything. I did all the research I possibly could. The one thing I have about working for the FBI, or CIA, in fact, too, is even though they have an office here in Atlanta, I could be put literally anywhere. Even there's a Secret Service one. I could be put truly anywhere within their parameters. So they could be like, hey, we need somebody in Montana. Hey, we need somebody at our office in Texas. And I don't want to live in those places. But wouldn't it be cool to be like FBI holding up that double-sided thing that holds the badges? Anyway... desperate. We're in attack mode. We've been in attack mode, but now we're in desperate attack mode. It's times like this. I wish, you see. It's so interesting. You look up like CNBC Make It, which is I think just such a not a very good what's it called? A repository for information. It's just all this BS about like how their side hustle. This couple has this 29-year-old couple has a side hustle that brings in $2 million a year. I work just 4 hours a day. Like that. That's a real headline I just read, and that is that paints such a varied regular picture. I mean, seriously, it just makes something that truly every single person is trying to do seems so easy, whereas like wherein 1% of those people is actually able to make something out of their quote unquote side hustle. Anyway, and I mean, it also just it's so stupid. 29-year-old earns $187,000 for 9 months of work, but and his job doesn't require a bachelor's degree, which is something we'll get into. Uh, However, when I that's like when I was reading that story, he works at a staff as a staff nurse. Well, he was working as a staff nurse in like Spartanburg, South Carolina, and now he works at some smaller place doing the same thing. Travel nurse, and not everybody wants to do that. Some people want to do the things and are only capable of doing the things they want to do. This guy wants to be a nurse. Let him be a nurse forever. Some people working as like clerks in the medical field, like checking people in, but their real dream, their real passion is, I don't know, real estate. Some person might be working real estate for a little bit in order to open a restaurant. It's anyway. Okay, what's going on? Oh, that was I prepared a bit apparently. Let's talk about this first thing. In office politics. I don't feel comfortable. I could do like jokes on the other two podcasts, but this just this doesn't work. Every time I'll give you a hint. Every single time that I have topics underneath like the episode number and what's going to happen in the episode, but I have like a list of topics, and a lot of them are like kind of jokey topics, and I just can't bring myself to do them for a podcast where I'm trying to get a job. Whereas I will do like I'm not afraid to do a bit on here, just concerned. Okay. Now I was talking to someone about this morning, and this is why I feel comfortable now doing this topic. Whenever I start a job, here I'll do this. I'll say this. You watch TV, you watch movies, you see people working at jobs, and they're all friends, and everybody's cool, and they go like happy hours and stuff after the fact, and then even now, like I'll see my friends will talk about like how they know somebody at work, and this and that. I've never had the luxury of that. Now, like not since with the exception of working in restaurants, I've never had the luxury of people like wanting to tell me about their lives, but B, hang out outside the office. And that's not a joke, and that's not it's not without a lack of trying. But man, oh man, I've just never had that type of camaraderie when it comes to that. Now, when you're at a restaurant, you're with people for 6 hours, or so, and you're running around, and then you're hanging out in the back, and you're talking smack about your tables, which does happen. Look at that fat guy out there. He wanted a cheeseburger, and he took all the lettuce and the tomato off, and he said because he didn't like the way tomato feels on his mouth. Look, that's why you're so just making fun of people. It's true. Yes, you're getting made fun of all the time. Not all the time, maybe, but definitely all the time. and it's I've never, besides the restaurant things, I've never when I was at WXIA, the NBC News affiliate in Atlanta, Georgia, I was those. And I don't think it's like really an age thing, but I do think it comes with the territory. But when I was there, it was a fair amount of people who were around my age, and also given like I didn't even live in the city, and I definitely tried my hardest to be friendly with people, and really only the talent liked me. Other than that, the people around me did not like me, and quite frankly, now that I think about it, don't like them as well. And but it was, I'll put it this way, talking to somebody, and again, this is, I'll just say this is for everybody, but talking to people, uh, it was a lot more difficult than it seems. And it's not like, you try hard or, you just let things happen organically. And I was never, I guess because like I had my mission, my thing of, I want to, if I'm here, then my goal is to move upward in any way possible and show these people, hey, this is what I could do. Um, and their goal, especially since I was making $10 an hour, which again was less than what the interns were making, which is a true fact. And I was driving from the suburbs, and I was working Christmas Eve and Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, I was giving it my all, and I don't know. Maybe that comes off as disingenuous. Maybe that comes off as a little try hard. But I definitely did my best to communicate effectively and really talk to people there. But the title of this topic is "In Office Politics," and that's the thing is. There are things where it's an inner office culture. I mean, a lot of them. I know for a fact during college football and college basketball season, I just had nothing to talk about, and because I don't give a flying crap about college sports, because those I think those kids are there for school, anyway. So there was just points where I just couldn't talk to them about something. I couldn't talk to people about anything, or I would volunteer to do certain tasks, and I would just kind of. I know in particular two people who I still don't like to this day because I hold grudges. And it's fine. You don't have to like people. You don't have to like everybody. I use that to drive me, just like I use my hatred of the three people. One of them was at 11 Alive that let me go to drive me. That's very true fact. But I remember volunteering for some stuff, and those people who were fully capable of covering whatever it is they needed themselves would always treat me like just straight crap. I just don't care. It's fine. I don't care. I remember I will say this, I'm not very much a person who's like, if I see you every single day, I'm not going to say hi to you. I'm not going to be like, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Like, I know, small talk is small talk. And if I give you a nod, if I acknowledge your existence, if I give you a fist bump, that's enough. That's enough. That should be enough. We shouldn't have to stop and chat and talk about the weather. And I remember this one reporter. This is the only talent person that I did not like. One reporter, her name is Faith. I wasn't supposed to say her name, but we were walking down the hallway, and I'm going to the bathroom, and she's coming. I guess she's leaving from the bathroom area, and she goes, hey, and I go, how you doing? Like I nod, hey, how you doing? And she stops. She goes, I'm not going to say hi to you anymore. You never say hi to me when I say hi to you. And I was like, but I just said, I just went like this. I was like, hello. I said hello, and she's like, yeah, how come you never talk to me? Oh my God. Maybe this is why I can't get a job, because I do this podcast. But also, don't give a crap. So yeah, and then that was 11 Alive and or WXA or whatever, and then the next big job, which probably came I think a year after that, which I'm lying on my resume. Everyone's doing it. Shut up. So, which came a year after that. Because you look at my resume, it says like I went from a job immediately to another job. I did not. I lied. But the Weather Channel, that one was like even tougher, because you would come in at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and nobody would want to talk. Which me, baby, I thrive. I wake up at 4 to go to the gym. I thrive at that early in the morning. And and also, as a contract person at that point, as my first contract job, you go in and everybody already has their groups, their rhythms and things. And I am, I never fit in with that type of the people who are already in their groups and everything. And I can only remember two people, Eric and Kendall. Both one was a producer editor and one was a producer who were kind to me. Everybody else were complete assholes. Facts. And especially the woman who let me go, Angela. And no, she didn't do it. She refused to, because I asked her multiple times about renewing my contract. And then the day before, she got someone else to do it over email. Anyway, and that person's name was Cash. And never gonna be able to work again. And you know, going into the Weather Channel, I mean, it was just like, sometimes I hear about, you know, jobs at like CNN or Fox News or CBS, whatever. I hear a job that's like, it's cutthroat and things of that, and everyone's there for themselves. At the Weather Channel was not cutthroat, but I will say that the people that were brought in were just everyone for themselves. It was, and not like a you know, a high school style everyone for themselves. It was like, you know, if you weren't part of the group, you were never going to be part of the group. And I mean, that's how it felt. There was one contractor who, on the same day that I was hired, I don't remember her name, but I remember her face, and this is like one of the most angry I have been in my entire life. This is at the Weather Channel. They had like in like the open office layout, and then there was a studio where they would shoot the broadcast and everything. And there was one, I think her name was Brittany, but she was a contractor too. And I remember one morning I'd been there for like 2 hours, at most that day already. So I'm already deep in my like whatever, and I'm editing video. And on this one computer, it was a computer like you didn't have a set computer, you just had computer free for all essentially, and no laptops. You just had a computer. So I sat down at the only open computer, and I wish I could go back as me who I am today, as someone who does not care. And have this happen to me. But I was working, and she comes in with the largest attitude I've seen of any human being possible at 5 or 6 in the morning, or however whatever time it was, and she's like, "Get up, move. This is my computer." And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "This is my computer. I was here yesterday." I was like, "But we don't have set computers." And she's like, and now it's like, again, this early in the morning, and she's talking in a loud tone, and no one else is like helping me out. There are definitely people like, the heck's going on over there? She's like, "I was working here yesterday. This is the only computer that has this, and I can't, and it's saved on here." And I'm just like, and I was like, "Okay, Jesus, calm down. Like, it's, you need, like, can you not just go find it?" And she's, and like, you know, she's yelling at me. And then eventually I just get up, I acquiesce to it. But that stunk. I think her name was Brittany. Anyway, and just gonna dox this person. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, I don't know if she was trying to make a name for herself. I'm not gonna say mental health or anything, because that's a bad thing to say. You can't use that excuse for everything. But you know, it's just, I just never felt comfortable there. And when Angela told Cash to email me, and just a couple of days before my contract was ending, and ruined and put me in a very tough spot for money. I hate her for it. You know, there's also that part of relief. I don't have to wake up at 2:00 in the morning anymore, or two or 3 or whatever time it's supposed to come in. And then there was Bounce TV, when I was at Bounce TV, Scripps. That was older people, and I was never going to be able to find with the exception of, like, you know, the people in the marketing and social department that were upstairs, or in the newly formed news department, which was hiring 22-year-olds and giving them, you know, cushy $60,000-$70,000 a year jobs when I'm earning 40, and I'm taxed it's 25. That one was hard to, like, even find anybody to relate to, because it was you know, quite frankly, a lot of older jaded people who had come from CNN and Warner and stuff, and they're like, yeah, I was there for 40 years, and they laid me off. I'm like, well, you got paid. I mean, you got severance. I don't know what you're complaining about, and that you got severance, and now you're at this job that where you're during the pandemic working from home and complaining about getting stipends for the internet. So what's your problem? Whereas I'm coming into the office and making literally a quarter as much as you. Anyway, and then Ebony let me go from that. A week after I asked her about getting a raise. Anyway, and then Phil let me go from WXIA because he's a turd. But then when I got to Warner, it was a good mix of people, and it felt like a place, even though my contract was not renewed, and I blame David Zaslav for that, but it was David Zaslav is the head of Discovery, and they bought Warner Brothers. I blame nobody else. I blame David Zaslav because he doesn't know how to run a company. And and even though that contract ended, I still felt better there because there were people that I could at least talk to and communicate with versus, you're coming from two companies that had older people and another company where I just never felt comfortable in that place. Now that being said, I know I said restaurant jobs were much easier to make friends because it's generally people your age and you're running around doing stuff and sometimes you're dating and whatever. I did work at Starbucks before Bounce, and Starbucks in CNN Center in Atlanta, Georgia, downtown Atlanta, Georgia. And I did not make a friend, not even a single friend there. And in fact, I made more enemies than I made friends there. I made friends with some people that worked at CNN above us, baby, when they would come down for their coffees. And I'd be like, yeah, man, I used to work in the news too. And they'd be like, and they just sprint out of there. And that one was, even tougher. That was just like, oh my God. Okay. What's going on? In-office politics. I hate it. I'm not a fan of in-office politics. Okay. So this is something that stuck out to me, today, as of recording this, or yesterday rather, really. The New Jersey governor, this comes from The Hill. The New Jersey governor, let me pop this open. What is this? Changing America. Boom. Okay. If you're watching the video, you now just see an article that just popped up. The New Jersey governor drops college degree requirement for some state workers. This comes from The Hill, written by Alejandra O'Connell Dominic. It is the sixth state to loosen the education requirements from state employment. Now, this has been a big thing for the past couple of months for the past couple of years where we have all of these different types of jobs and they're not able to fill them, and people, especially people around my age, are have been complaining that it shouldn't take a college degree to get an entry-level position. And it shouldn't take a college degree to get really most any job. You shouldn't have to, if you're applying to do construction work, you don't need a 4-year degree and 10 years of experience and things of that nature. And it goes all over the place. But Governor Phil Murphy signed an executive order on Monday ordering the Civil Service Commission to examine which state jobs require a 4-year college degree. The same thing is happening in that same kind of bill has been pushed in Georgia. This comes from AP News. Georgia Senate Committee is advancing a bill that would instruct an agency to examine qualifications for state government jobs and not require a college degree unless truly necessary. Now, I've applied to countless jobs, and I mean hundreds and hundreds of jobs. Maybe hundreds of jobs over the past 5 years, and maybe even 100 over the past 3 months, 100 or so, just more than the average bear. And it is quite frankly insane what they're asking for people to have when the job pays a quarter of $100,000, and it's entry level. And it's things I've done 10 years ago. It's insane. It's ridiculous. and now we're getting in this to this point where, you know, I saw a story last week. I don't remember. I don't know if it's CNN or if it's CBS, but people are going into Europe from America and doing their degrees and getting their degrees there because they're cheaper or they're free. And they and let's just, when I say people, they probably mean white people, but people are going over to Europe. I mean, come on. I don't know any people of color who did a study abroad program. Yeah, that's true. And just make a statement, just to think back on it. And yeah, that has to be one, like, maybe, like, I mean, it's easier to, like, to, you know, spend however much, I don't know how much to go to Europe, like $600 to go to Europe and live there for 4 years or 2 years or however long, and then come back and say, I've got a civil engineering degree from University of Ireland, and well, they definitely don't have any colored people over there. The, like, University of England or whatever, Sussex, and it only cost me 12 pence. I don't know what money is. Yeah, it's these are things that we need to continue to push and really just look into, because that, you know, it shouldn't take this much. It shouldn't take you spending in my case $100,000 or $50,000 to go to a school to get a degree, and then to basically not be able to use it because a job wants you to have a better one, or a job you know, is asking for the world when it comes to all of this. And yeah, so I mean, it's just, do we need college? And you're seeing a small uptick in, I believe, like vocational schools, like extra learning and everything like that. People learning to do maintenance and plumbing and electricians and things of that nature. And I think, you know, when it comes to graduating high school and then trying to enter a job force, I think one of two things needs to happen. You need to find a way to get that extra education, because you're 18 years old. You don't know anything. If I like, if it's crazy, like, sometimes you'll see like and I like him. I like him a lot. Justin Bieber, or Ariel Winter, children actors who don't get to have that childhood, and then, you know, we see them, you know, cutting up when they're teenagers and not acting right, and things of that nature. And, you know, thank goodness Ariel had her own issues, I believe, with her parents and everything, but and Justin has, like, now mellowed out and turned into an upstanding, you know, young man. But it is, we get to these points, and I think, you know, someone deliberately not going to college, I think you have to get that extra education, learn how to weld, go learn how to build a table, get electricity, plumbing, maid service, like business classes instead of business school. I think that's much better than just learning by way of life, because you can learn by way of life and also have education with you. That being said, don't spend, you know, $100,000 money that's not going to be able to be paid back, because I mean, like, how many Simpsons writers went to Harvard? You know, it's fine. We don't need that many Harvard grads anymore. I don't care that you went to UGA. I just care that you're a nice person. Okay. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you today on LinkedIn Logs. If you like what you heard here and you want to see a video version of the podcast, head to youtube.com/C+comedy, where you can see video versions of The Constitutionals, which is our premier podcast where I talk about entertainment, business news, as well as what's it called? Late Night Lately, which is the late night news show. Late night news show. Here we go. And that's it's got a monologue, and I talk about late night. You can also watch on youtube.com/C+comedy News Time, which is our premiere show, which is where I talk about it's like The Daily Show, except way less funny. You can subscribe to those wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram @C+comedy. Me on those platforms @ChadBlackWhite. Share this with your friends. Do what you got to do, because baby, we're in it. Okay, hopefully I can come back with some good news in the next episode. We'll see. I don't know. Definitely trying. I did Atlanta Film Festival. They denied me yesterday. So there you go. All right. Bye.